Hey there, welcome to Craft Central Designs. I have a quick one for you today. Just one more autumn craft using the plain wood leaf shape from the Dollar Tree. And in fact, all of the materials I used were from the Dollar Tree. Just a pretty little last minute decor piece that I'm sharing with you today. Welcome to my channel today. And if you are not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. Lots of Christmas crafts coming up, so set your notifications and as well, give this video a thumbs up and leave me your comments. Okay, let's get creating. Let's look at the items that I used to create this piece today. This is the leaf that I mentioned. It's from the Dollar Tree. Now, I think it was, I don't know, $1. Is it $1.25 or $1.50? Who knows anymore? Nothing is really clear at the Dollar Tree anymore. But also I got from the Dollar Tree, you know, they have those bags of these little wood pieces. So I'm going to use 2 of those. If you don't have any or you don't have access to them at your Dollar Tree, you could use wood beads. And then I have this little wood round. It's like one of those little wood pieces with the bark on the sides. It's exactly a circle, but kind of like a circle. I'm going to create a little platform for my leaf, my little leaf decor piece. Now I have these little letters that says Hello Fall. Now, I have seen those at the Dollar Tree. I happen to have picked mine up at Hobby Lobby, but I have seen them at the Dollar Tree. Now, you're going to need some type of heating tool to pry that leaf off of the other leaf. That leaf is just a separate piece that's glued on there. Now, I just take it nice and slow with this because I don't want to crack that leaf in half. So I use a heat gun and I just gradually take a paint scraper and I just wiggle it and I use heat and then I wiggle it and then I finally got it off. Now I'm going to cover it with Mod Podge because I'm going to put a napkin on the smaller leaf. On the larger leaf, I'm going to put scrapbook paper. One type of scrapbook paper on the front and one on the back. So use a little piece of painter's tape or masking tape to separate the plies of your napkins. When you think if you have pulled it off, try again because it could very well have 3 layers. So you want a nice thin layer if you haven't done this before, but it's just the easiest thing to do. After my Mod Podge is dried, I'm going to place that napkin on there, then a piece of parchment paper, and then I'm going to use my little mini Cricut heat press and press that on, reactivate the Mod Podge, and I have the most smooth and perfect application of that napkin upon that leaf. Now, I know a lot of people are using, glue sticks. I don't know if that will work for this very thin napkin, but yeah, I just want to take the surefire method of, applying my napkin and getting that perfect application. So I'm using the method that I trust the most. Okay, so now I didn't paint my leaf because I wasn't concerned about that. I knew that it was going to have a little bit of a wood shade and that was fine with me. So I'm just going to cut away most of my napkin and then I'm just going to take a nail file. You could use a zip sander. It's just that going around that leaf, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies to get into. So I'm using a nail file because it's a little bit of a smaller surface. And then I just apply that nail file to the edges in a downward stroke, not sawing back and forth, but just applying the file on the downward stroke. And then I can clean up all of my edges. And that was just ever so easy to do. Now for my happy fall, I want that to be kind of like a stained look. So I'm just going to use my Waverly antiquing wax and a paintbrush. And I have a clean cloth handy off to the side. I'm just going to do little sections at a time, apply the antiquing wax, and then I'm just going to wipe off the excess so that I have a little bit of a lighter shade of that antiquing wax showing on that happy fall letters. Just like that. Very easy to do. This is a great beginner project and a cute one. Very cute for a desk or foyer table or a kitchen or just anywhere where you want to touch a fall. Now I'm going to use these two little wood pieces and I wanted them to be equal in height. So I'm using my little, oh my God, my brain just went blank. My level, yes. And I'm making sure, oh my goodness, I'm making sure that it's going to be evenly balanced on those little wood pieces, that little wood piece, that little platform I'm creating. Now I'm going to use some Gorilla wood glue. You can use any wood glue that you like. Now that I'm sure that it's going to be well balanced, and I'm just going to place two of those, one on each side. And I love this piece because it's just uneven and just, natural. And and I have the little feet that are just a natural wood. And this piece is just very simple and rustic and very cute and really cute for fall. Okay, so I'm going to let those set off to the side and dry, but I also have to take my needle nose pliers and pull off that burlap hanger that's on there because it's stapled in. So I'm going to have to pull that off with just like that. Now, in the process of pulling it off, I got a little carried away, pulled a little bit too hard, and I pulled off a little bit of the bark on the edges of the wood, but I was able to just glue that back on, no problem. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be my little platform to create my little, I guess, just a centerpiece or a decor piece, whatever you want to call it. So I covered both sides of that leaf with Mod Podge and I let that dry. Then I traced around the leaf on a piece of scrapbook paper. Now, I used two different ones. That way I had the option of using whichever one that I liked the best. And this one is actually a muted polka dot. Very difficult to see that because it's actually very muted, but it's a nice soft shade of yellow that picks up the yellows in that napkin. Then I found another scrapbook paper in my scrapbook paper stash that also picked up one of the deeper shades in that napkin, and that turned out to be the one that I used. Now, again, I'm using parchment paper and my mini Cricut heat press, going all the way out to the edges, the tips, everywhere in between on my leaf. And again, I love this for scrapbook paper as well. A nice smooth application there. Now that's going to go very nicely on there, but I found that I like this one a little bit better. Now that's a deeper shade, but it has kind of a pattern on it. It's not polka dot, I'm really not sure. Just kind of blotches. It was in a scrapbook paper book that I happened to have, full of scrapbook papers. Okay, so I'm going to take a finger dauber. You can get one of these back in the department at Hobby Lobby where they have the stamps. And I don't have any distressing ink. So what I'm going to do is use Waverly antiquing wax. So I put some on a paper plate and I dip my little dauber in there, and then I blot off most of it. And then I just go around as much distressing as I like. Look how beautiful that is, how transformed that leaf is just by using a piece of scrapbook paper and a finger dauber and some antiquing wax. Now you want to be careful with this. Don't get too heavy. That's why I take my dauber and I blot it off. You could use a paper towel or whatever. Just go around the edges, bring it in as far as you want. Use as little or as much as you like. And I did the very same thing on the leaf with the napkin. Now I put a Jenga block on the back of my leaf. I didn't want it flat on the other leaf. So this is another change to the piece that really adds a little bit of dimension and makes it look a little more high end. So everything I'm doing here is really taking this piece up quite a few notches in looking so finished and pretty and higher end, certainly than that leaf that I picked up at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to show you the difference here, and it's amazing what you can do with a leaf, a piece of scrapbook paper, and a leaf cutout from the Dollar Tree. Now, I think they might have a leaf as well at Hobby Lobby, but, you know, I was putting away my fall crafting materials, and I saw that leaf, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do one more thing. And I said in my last autumn decor video, I was done, but apparently not. So, yeah, I just had the urge to do one more little piece. Okay, there's the original leaf. Look at the difference. Look what you can do by just spending a few minutes to upgrade pieces that you pick up at the Dollar Tree. I love to do that. I just did that Halloween stacked pumpkin table decor piece, and I was just crazy for that. I loved it. And that was Dollar Tree. So, okay, now for the top of my piece, I decided I wanted my leaf to stand up, but I kind of needed something for it to lean on, the stem. So I decided to take another one of my little wood chunk pieces, and I'm going to not hug glue. Did I hug glue it or tacky glue? Let's wait and see here. I think I tacky glued it. Yep, I did. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there, and I want it in alignment with the legs. So, but I didn't put it exactly in the center. I moved it to the back just a little bit because I do want my leaf to go right down the center of my little display platform. So then I thought, you know what? I think I'll just put one on the other side too. And then I can lean my leaf up against that. And I'm going to use a combination of hot glue and tacky glue. And I'm just going to let that set. And that's going to hold that very nicely in a standing up position. So again, a combination of tacky and hot glue. Then for the back of my sign, right at the back of the stem, and that little segment of the leaf that's going to be pressing up against the other little wood piece, I'm going to put Aleene's tacky glue and a little bit of hot glue just for that immediate hold. Now see how easy this is. This would look cute on a desk because it's not very big, but or maybe just somewhere in the office, in the classroom, maybe at your business on the counter. Yeah, super cute and fun, really fun to make. Okay, I'm putting on my glue now. Putting a little bit of glue also right on the bottom edge of that leaf. Now I want to be sure that this is standing up nice and straight. So as it dries, I'm going to just keep checking on it. Make sure that it's still standing straight. So I did sit and hold it there for just a brief period of time. Then I stuck a little bit of hot glue down at the bottom behind the stem and that little leaf segment area, just for a little extra immediate hold. And then I'm going to decorate the floor of my platform. Now, this is like the third time in a week or so that I've created a platform. I must be on a platform kick, I guess. But I don't know. I like it. I like the little elevation off the table. It dresses it up a little bit. Now I'm going around and just adding a little bit of hot glue just to keep that nice and straight. Because I don't want to look at my piece when it's all finished and go, oh my gosh, it's leaning one direction or another. So, of course, you know I am just going to embellish this piece up. And what better way to do it than a bow? But this is actually going to be a messy bow, and I love to do these as well. So I'm going to use a combination of all different kinds of ribbons and trims and twine. There's a little burlap ribbon that I love. So I'm going to cut like 6-inch pieces, and I'm going to cut a variety of them. Most of them are like 3 to 4 pieces per type of embellishment that I'm adding into the bow. That's a nice little ribbon that looks like burlap, but it's not, and it's got white stitching. So I just gathered together everything that I had. That's a pretty twine with a burlap and white twisted pattern. I cut a few pieces of twine. Of each of the types of twine, there's another type of twine. It's more of a cream color. Love that twine, really pretty on that piece. And then I'm also going to use a jute twine. And that's like a very narrow twine, but it adds something, lots of texture and visual interest to the bow. So I'm just cutting all of these, want to say 5 to 6 inches. I do end up trimming them up. Now I'm going to take this really weird, I always think this ribbon is just so weird, but it's 2 inches wide. They sell this at the Dollar Tree. It's like a netted kind of weird ribbon, but it always adds a cool effect to just about anything that you put it on. So if you ever see it at the Dollar Tree, pick it up. Okay, so I'm holding in the center with my thumb and my index finger, and I'm just creating an X pattern, and I'm stacking all of my elements up, slipping them underneath my thumb, making sure to, have variety. I'd put my twine, then I'd put a ribbon, then I'd put that netted ribbon, and then a piece of twine. You got the idea. Mix it up. This adds lots of visual interest, as I always say. Now I'm going to keep stacking that up until I've used all the pieces that I've cut. Now you can do this as full a bow or as, a less amount of pieces of ribbon and twine as you like. I'm going to use a narrow piece of ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it around the center underneath my thumb, pull that wire around the back and scrunch it super, super tight. Because I really want to gather up that messy bow right in the center. Then I'm just going to give it a few good twists and cut off the excess wire. Now this is going to have a very nice little rustic touch on the platform that my leaf is sitting on. And I'm going to be putting that on the side with the stem. So it's going to be on the left side. Now it's going to take up a good portion of that little wood platform. And once I get it on the piece, that's when I'm going to go about doing all the trimming. I'm going to angle the tails of my ribbons, trim up my twine. But I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to put one more thing on the top of that messy bow. I'm going to take my cream colored twine. I love this twine. You can, if you like this, you can get it in the department. Weirdly, it's in the department where they have all the materials for brides in the floral department. And that's where I found it. So I'm going to do 3 figure-8 bows. And I'm just going to place that little figure 8 bow, that little loopy bow right on top. And I'm going to secure that in the center with a little piece of that floral wire. Sometimes you could pick up that wire in the floral department at the Dollar Tree. So like I said, if you wanted to, if you could find those little letters, which I have definitely seen those. In fact, year after year, I've seen those at the Dollar Tree that says Hello Fall. You could do this piece primarily and actually entirely from materials from the Dollar Tree because they do have narrow ribbons. You could even look to see what kind of fabrics they have, and you could tear some fabric into little, very narrow strips and include that in your bow. Yeah, lots of possibilities. Okay, so I'm going to use 2 little tiny pine cones. That's going to bring out the brown in the leaves on my napkin. So I'm trying to bring in some different colors here. Now, hopefully you've seen these at the Dollar Tree. They're wood roses, and they're so cute. I think I've seen these in just about every Dollar Tree I've ever been in. But they're kind of like a wood shaving that's shaped into a flower or a rose. I thought I was going to use more than one, but I only have room for one on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a dab of glue right in the center of my messy bow. And I'm going to put my bow with all my loops. And then I'm going to place my wood rose right down in the center of that bow. Now this is just getting cuter by the moment here. Pull your tails around, gather them up. Now you can, have them all collected, but you can go around later and just really trim everything up just the way you like it. And I'm going to put a nice blob of glue right there by the stem. In fact, on the stem and on the platform. I'm going to push that bow right up against the stem. Not having it lie flat on the platform, but rather pushed up against the stem so it's facing forward for the most part. Okay, I'm going to hold it there till it's nice and secure. And now I'm going to go about trimming all of my tails of my messy bow. My twine, my ribbons, everything. Now I am going to be putting that wood rose on there and also 2 pine cones, which I'm going to show you here in just a bit. Now this is a very quick and easy piece if you just need something, just a little something more for your autumn decor to fill a particular space. And it's just really, really super cute. I'm going to be beginning my Christmas decor. I have to get started. I have a lot to accomplish. So, yeah, it's time. It's time. I'm going to start regardless of, what others might be doing on YouTube. I really don't know. But I'm going to start mine. So I hope you're ready for that. Now, I did do a beautiful, very cute and beautiful at the same time Halloween wreath. I'm still waiting for that to upload. So if you are still waiting as well, it was a long video, so it's taking a while. But in the meantime, you could watch this one, I guess, if this one posts before the other one. But this is, I promise, the last fall video. Okay, so I'm going to pop some hot glue on the back of that wood rose. I'm finding the prettiest one out of the package. Now, if you want to try and look for that, I have seen these so many times at the Dollar Tree. honestly, I really think you'll be able to find it. Look in the department where they have like all of the floral foam and, the florals, all the materials for that. And hopefully you'll be able to find it. If not, just find something else to suffice to put in there. You could maybe just do all like little dried. You could do acorns and you could do pine cones, maybe a really small faux leaf and like a brown or an off-white. I wouldn't add any colors contrary to the napkin. I would stay with that color scheme. Okay, little pine cones. I get these at Hobby Lobby. Now I'm going to lift up the loops of my little twine bow and I'm going to pop those pine cones right down in there. Kind of bury them almost and just push them right up against the base of the wood rose. And then I'm going to pop the other one on the other side. I see I'm still doing a bit of trimming here. And then this one, same thing, little hot glue, pop it right down in there. And look how pretty that looks. Now I'm going to put that happy fall on there. By the way, for the back, I've just put some hot glue down. I was trying to decide there, what am I going to do with the back? Because I have to do something. And I just put some Excelsior there. Another option would be just some Spanish moss, just something to, dress up the back. Spanish moss would look great on there. Okay, so now I'm making a decision. Where am I going to put Happy Fall? Originally, I thought I was going to put it right there, but then I changed my mind and I decided to put it right on the leaf. So I'm just going to use some Aleene's tacky glue. Of course, it's plugged up, just like always. Okay, back to that. Now I'm just going to put some Aleene's tacky on there, and I'm just going to glue it right to that pretty napkin. I got a little bit too much glue on there. I had to go back in with a Q-tip and clean up. And then I just centered it straight on that leaf. And after I put the little Happy Fall on there, I just put some Excelsior on the back. And that was it. Super easy, super cute. Look at the little feet on my platform. How cute is that? With that rustic feel. Those little wood pieces, those little wood chunks. Yeah, the whole piece is just consistent with the textures, and I love it. Now, would you never know that was a plain wood leaf cutout from Dollar Tree? Would you know that? No. Look how pretty. One last look. If you're not currently a subscriber, I hope you will consider becoming one. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Leave me your comments. And for those of you who wanted just an extra little project for fall, here you go. Let me know what you think of this one. Watch for a Halloween wreath coming up. And lots of Christmas coming up. Okay, until next time, you all take care.